I have the Flush-o-matic Playset from 1989, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This retail priced at $6.99. It was a super low price playset. Not too much more than just one of the action figures. And I think that was a strength of the Ninja Turtles line. There wasn't like a standard for like the vehicles and things. There were bigger vehicles and playsets, and then there was all these smaller ones. So everybody could kind of get something. If you could only get some of the smaller, cheaper ones, you could get this Flush-o-matic as a kid. Not one that I had, but I got one here to show you. Pretty simple assembly. It's just some of these legs that go into this top piece. Just kind of makes that shape, and then the tray that's just kind of like a strap belt and just a tray with a sticker on the base. Kind of a slime catcher tray here. Because this was to sell their RetroMutagen Ooze slime that you could kind of keep selling to kids, so they had more slime and ooze to play with. So everyone probably thinks it was always green ooze with the Ninja Turtles. I do remember mostly seeing the foot ooze, like the purple version. That was kind of like, if the green is the Turtles, they had like a purple one for like the Foot Clan for some reason or something. I don't know. Every movie and show always showed it as green, so I always saw the purple ooze in stores and kind of wondered why. I just wanted the green. And I think the green canister even came with like a little maybe glow-in-the-dark looking turtle toy. You know, like the turtles get covered in the RetroMutagen, they turn back into just regular little turtles. That would be a pretty cool accessory to have when you're playing with the slime. Maybe having to re-ooze them to turn them back into their Ninja Turtle self. So this is just a fun little mechanism to kind of drop your ooze. I don't know why the top part moves like this, because you kind of want it to line up with the hole here. And there's a not so tight mechanism to kind of hold your ooze in place, because you're supposed to fill this bowl here. Which, yes, this is the Flushomatic, so it's pretty much in the shape of a toilet. Gotta crap down your toxic dump ooze down onto the victim here. But you can see it doesn't quite seal tight, so you're going to put that ooze there. I'm pretty sure the original slime was super wet and runny. A lot of slimes they sell these days, a little bit thicker. But then the tray just has this kind of like strap thing here that you can kind of put a turtle. We got an original Raphael. We can strap in like they're trapped. We just have kind of a knob here, the bigger hole there, and we can kind of push it to the smaller one so it kind of stays in place. And he's like, oh, I'm trapped. We can position him under there. And I have a little bit of ooze, I think, that's pretty similar. It was actually from the remakes of the Toxic Avenger action figure. That was a pretty interesting one that came with this kind of very wet, runny slime that I feel like probably represents what that original was. Like, look how goopy it is. I mean, maybe it wasn't this wet, because this is extreme wet. Like, you use this, it's done. Like, you can't, like, gather it back up and put it back in the container at all. So we can fill the bowl and hope it doesn't ooze out too much before we open our little door handle here to unleash the ooze down onto the turtle or whoever you put there. I mean, you could have all sorts of stories about who was trapped, or different characters getting retro-mutated, or likewise, or maybe even make the origin story, you know, Shredder making some of the villainous mutants or something like that. Pretty handy. I think it looked a lot more cooler and epic, of course, in the commercial. They made like a whole deal out of it. Looked like it was going to be like a bigger thing dropping ooze down. It's a little small, so you don't get like a long drop sequence of the ooze coming down. So it could have benefited from a bit longer legs. But still a fun one. I probably would have been pretty bored with it, and also probably wouldn't have got many refills of slime. Probably because I never had any slime from any of the toys, even though they took it. Never allowed to have the old slime, and I can probably imagine why. It would get all over everything. For display purposes now, I mean, it is smaller, but it still takes up a bit of space. So this kind of a, if your preference, if that's something you want to have take up the space to have, very representative of the time. Like a mechanism to drop the slime down, because that was something special you definitely had to buy. You didn't have all these recipes to make slimes and things at home. Highly sellable back then. But I don't have the box, but I do have the National Turtle Quiz joke book that came with it. You got the little picture. You know, they have these pictures in like Kmart ads and stuff, like the toys. They didn't have the real picture. We got the joke book, and it's all about Slime Pit. So I'm sure these are hilarious. Let's just read it. What are a Flushomatic victim's last words? The answer, glug glug. Okay, I kind of get where these are gonna be not incredible. Why do mutants fight over who gets to push the Flushomatic handle? They all like to make a stink. I'll go ahead and read all these, despite not wanting to. What's the only kind of cake hungry mutants don't like? A cake of soap. Was that a urinal joke? This is not a urinal. Okay, that's fine. Why does Casey Jones like to fight at night? Because bats usually sleep during the daytime. Hey, you know what? That one's actually funny because he uses like a bat and stuff like that. He has like the broken baseball bat weapon. Tell you what, that one was not horrible. Bats sleep during the day, so at night he goes out, and it's almost like a Batman sort of like teasing reference or something, that he goes out at night for his vigilantism. So you know what? Not bad. Maybe there's another one. Does Metalhead have any brothers? No, just trans sisters. Dang it! There's another golden one here. Dang, that's, you know what? Started out pretty bad, but maybe these are alright. Where does General Trag, the rock soldier, sleep? Bedrock. Okay, that's fine. Why does Raphael do the backstroke after eating pizza? He doesn't want to swim on a full stomach. Ooh, boy. So he swims on his back. Anyway. Why did the dumb mutant throw away the toilet seat? Because it had a big hole in the middle. Yeah. Yeah. Why is the Flushomatic like outer space? Because it's a big dripper. Nope. Nope. What happened when Rat King dreamed he was a car muffler? No, nobody cares. That's the answer. Nobody cares. He woke up exhausted. But the setup. No. Okay, anyway. Why does Usagi Yojimbo avoid the Flushomatic? Because he'd look really weird with green fur. Okay. Why didn't Ace Duck get good grades in school? He was a wise quacker. Fucking, I don't, why did I, this is awful, piece of crap. So the Flushomatic came with toilet paper that you could use, because this, okay, maybe there was two decent-ish jokes, but thank God this was saved and not thrown away. Anyway, Flushomatic, cool way to use the slime. I tried my best to kind of simulate what it would look like at the time with the really runny, like green slime. Of course, you could also buy the foot ooze as well for purple or whatever. Not all the figures are going to fit in there because this is a pretty small one. I think it'd be cool if you kind of like 3D printed or had something to maybe extend this up, and it would make it a lot cooler if it was a higher playset. To really get a long ooze string going down onto the victim. But pretty classic one. Glad I got an old one here I could kind of put together and show you. I don't get too many of the old Ninja Turtle stuff. There's just so much. So as I get little pieces and even bigger ones, I like to show them off here. Usually showing 90s toys, but I was still a kid in the 80s, so Ninja Turtles just started then, and I had a lot of stuff from that. That was a big startup in my toy collecting, kind of set the bar for how cool a toy line could be with the main character figures and all the supporting ones, and then tons of different vehicles and playsets and stuff to go with them. If that's the kind of old school stuff you like to see, this is where you want to stick around, find some playlists, look through the channel. Stuff that you want to see, stuff that you remember, or stuff you've never seen before is a lot more interesting as I go over it. But plenty more Ninja Turtle stuff I have planned here. So stick around, hopefully I'll get to see you in the next video.